Our planet has been explored only on its surface, while 70% of it is covered by water, holding thousands of unsolved mysteries. Have you ever wondered why entire ships disappear without a trace in so-called cursed zones? The Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Sea off the coast of Japan, places where the laws of physics seem to cease to exist. And what about the phantom ships that sailors have observed for centuries? The Flying Dutchman, the Mary Celeste, ghost ships whose stories send shivers down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. From the depths of the ocean, strange sounds can be heard. A low rumble, metallic scraping, mysterious bioacoustic signals that scientists cannot attribute to any known marine creature. What are these? Signs of unknown forms of life or perhaps technology from long-lost civilizations? Today, we will delve into the darkest and most inexplicable mysteries of the ocean, many of which remain unsolved even in our age of advanced technologies. Prepare to learn what most people prefer to ignore. Let us return to one of the most ominous mysteries of the world's oceans, the Bermuda Triangle. This mystical region between Florida, the Bermuda Islands, and Puerto Rico. The dark waters of this area hold stories of hundreds of vanished ships and planes, seemingly swallowed by an unknown force. Recall, for instance, the tragedy of Flight 19, 5 Avenger torpedo bombers that disappeared without a trace on December 5, 1945, along with 14 experienced pilots. The last words transmitted over the radio were chilling. Everything looks strange. Even the ocean isn't like it usually is. The rescue hydroplane sent to find them also vanished without a trace in these accursed waters. Or the mysterious disappearance of the cargo ship Marin Sulphur Queen in 1963, which literally disappeared from radar in clear weather. 39 crew members, 40,000 tons of sulfur, and not a single piece of wreckage, not a single lifeboat, not a single distress signal. How is this possible? What happens in these waters that turn modern ships and planes into ghosts? Scientists offer various explanations for this phenomenon. Some point to geological features of the region, vast underwater deposits of methane hydrates that, under certain conditions, can release gas pockets, reducing water density. A ship entering such an area could sink in seconds, without even time to send an SOS. Other researchers speak of unusual magnetic anomalies that can disrupt navigation instruments and cause spatial disorientation in pilots. Strange electromagnetic phenomena observed in this area sometimes cause malfunctions in even the most modern equipment. But does this explain the complete disappearance of large objects without a trace? What if the cause lies beyond our understanding of physical laws? Some theorists suggest spatial temporal rifts, portals connecting different points in space or even time. Remember the numerous accounts of sailors and pilots who experience strange time distortions in this area. Clocks suddenly stopping or running backward. Inexplicable time jumps when a ship arrives at its destination earlier than expected. The local inhabitants of the Bahamas have long passed down legends of strange lights over the water and inexplicable whirlpools that drag ships to their doom. Perhaps the ancients knew something we have forgotten. Especially intriguing is the theory of a possible connection between the Bermuda Triangle and the legendary Atlantis. Some researchers believe that the advanced civilization of the Atlanteans could have possessed technologies using energy crystals of incredible power. After their civilization's catastrophe, these energy sources could have remained active on the ocean floor, creating anomalous zones. What if these ancient technologies periodically awaken, causing spatial and temporal distortions? Despite all attempts at rational explanation, the Bermuda Triangle continues to keep its secrets. Each new expedition, each new study only raises more questions than answers. Why does this region see such a high number of unexplained disappearances? What force can make an entire ship vanish, leaving not even a drop of oil on the surface? And why do these disappearances often occur in ideal weather conditions, when nothing seems to foreshadow disaster? Perhaps the answer lies at the intersection of science and those areas of knowledge we are not yet ready to acknowledge. Meanwhile, the dark waters of the Bermuda Triangle continue to lure researchers, seemingly mocking our attempts to unravel one of the greatest mysteries of the world's oceans. But the Atlantic is not the only ocean hiding its dark secrets. But not only the Atlantic holds its dark secrets. Perhaps there is no more intriguing and unsolvable mystery than the fate of the legendary Atlantis, a magnificent civilization described by Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias over 2,400 years ago. The ancient Greek philosopher with remarkable accuracy paints a picture of a powerful island state located beyond the Pillars of Hercules in the Atlantic Ocean. According to his description, Atlantis was not just an island, but a true empire, surpassing in its development all known ancient civilizations. Imagine magnificent temples lined with silver, with golden spires piercing the heavens, wide canals cutting through concentric rings of land, Palaces with hot and cold baths, adorned with precious metals and stones. Massive harbors filled with ships bringing goods from all corners of the world. But what is particularly intriguing in Plato's account is the mention of a strange metal called orichalcum, shining like fire, which the Atlanteans mined from the depths of their island and valued almost as highly as gold. What was this metal? What technologies did these ancient people possess? And most importantly, where did this extraordinary civilization disappear to? Plato asserts that Atlantis perished in one day and one night due to catastrophic earthquakes and floods, sinking into the ocean depths around 9,000 years before his time. Imagine this apocalyptic moment. The earth trembles, volcanoes spew rivers of lava, giant waves crash onto shores, swallowing entire cities. Many scholars for a long time considered Atlantis to be merely a philosophical allegory created by Plato to illustrate his ideas about an ideal state. But why then does he describe the geography of the island, its flora and fauna, political structure, and even military organization with such remarkable detail? Where does this accuracy in numbers and dates come from? What if Plato was indeed transmitting ancient knowledge passed down to him through Egyptian priests, as he himself claims? The search for Atlantis has been ongoing for centuries. Some researchers place it in the Mediterranean Sea, pointing to the island of Santorini, ancient Thera, where around 1600 BCE a catastrophic volcanic eruption destroyed the Minoan civilization. Indeed, archaeological finds on Santorini and Crete testify to a highly developed culture with advanced water supply systems, multi-story buildings, and extraordinary works of art. But does this correspond to the scale of Atlantis described by Plato? Other scholars turn their gaze to the Atlantic Ocean, studying submerged plateaus and sunken archipelagos, the Azores, Canary Islands, and even the archipelago of the Bahamas with its famous Bimini Roads. Strange underwater structures resembling man-made constructions attract particular attention. Modern technologies of deep-sea research and satellite cartography open up new possibilities. In 2011, on satellite images from Google Earth, strange concentric structures were discovered on the ocean floor near the coast of Spain, remarkably resembling the description of the capital of Atlantis. Coincidence? Or a trace of an ancient civilization? Particularly captivating is the hypothesis about the connection between Atlantis and other mysterious megalithic structures around the world. What if the pyramids of Egypt, Teotihuacan in Mexico, Stonehenge in England, and other ancient monuments are not just random architectural coincidences, but the legacy of a single global civilization, with Atlantis at its center? Recall the strange coincidences in the mythology of various peoples, separated by oceans, legends of a universal flood, of gods descending from the heavens, of a golden age of humanity. What if these are not just myths, but distorted memories of a real historical period? Some researchers go even further, suggesting that the Atlanteans possessed technologies that we are only beginning to rediscover. Perhaps the mysterious orichalcum was not something else but an alloy with unusual electromagnetic properties, allowing the Atlanteans to control energy on a scale beyond what is accessible even to modern science. And what if these technologies are somehow connected to the unexplained phenomena of the Bermuda Triangle? Perhaps the catastrophe that destroyed Atlantis was not just a geological cataclysm, but the result of uncontrolled release of these powerful energies. We can only guess, build theories, and continue the search. But one thing remains unchanged. The call of Atlantis, this ghostly beacon of ancient wisdom, continues to attract researchers and dreamers, reminding us that the history of our civilization may be far more complex and extraordinary than we are used to thinking. Perhaps the key to understanding our future lies in these forgotten pages of the past, buried under the depths of oceanic waters. And now let's move from the mysteries of ancient civilizations to no less enigmatic artifacts that challenge our understanding of history. Now let's shift from the enigmas of ancient civilizations to equally mysterious marine anomalies that challenge our understanding of natural laws. If the Bermuda Triangle is considered the western capital of unexplained disappearances, then on the other side of the world, in the waters of the Pacific Ocean, lies its sinister eastern twin, the Devil's Sea, or as the Japanese call it, the Dragon's Triangle. This mysterious maritime zone, located off the southern coast of Japan, stretches from Miyakojima Island to the Ogasawara Archipelago and Iwo Jima Island, forming almost an ideal triangle of gloomy fame. Imagine these dark waters, over which dense fogs hang, hiding from the eyes of sailors dangerous reefs and shoals. Waves that even in calm seem unnaturally restless, as if something ancient and powerful stirs in the depths. The sky, which suddenly darkens with strange clouds, distorting the readings of navigational instruments. What hides in this sinister marine realm? Legends about the Devil's Sea go back to ancient times, Japanese fishermen have long avoided these waters, passing down from generation to generation tales of sea dragons dragging ships to the depths and of strange lights appearing over the water on moonless nights. But what is particularly intriguing is that these ancient beliefs have received unexpected confirmation in modern times. In 1952, the Japanese government officially declared the Devil's Sea a dangerous zone after the research vessel Kaiyo Maru No. 5, with a crew of 31 people, disappeared without a trace in these waters. What is ironic is that the ship was sent specifically to study the very phenomenon of mysterious disappearances. Imagine the irony. Scientists, equipped with modern instruments and a skeptical mindset, set out to debunk the myth, and became part of it, dissolving into the marine abyss without a distress signal, without wreckage, without a trace. What could have happened to the ship, equipped with radio communication and all necessary rescue equipment? How could an entire ship disappear in an instant? In the following decades, the list of victims of the Devil's Sea grew by dozens of ships and aircraft. Particularly mysterious is the case of the cargo ship Reo Maru, which in 1971 sent a strange message. Approaching an unknown object. It seems to be rising from the water. After these words, the connection was lost, and the ship never reached its destination port. What did the crew see in those last moments? What object was rising from the depths? Some researchers note an interesting coincidence. Many disappearances occur during periods of increased volcanic activity in this region. Indeed, the Devil's Sea is located in one of the most geologically active zones on the planet, at the junction of tectonic plates forming the infamous Ring of Fire of the Pacific Ocean. Under the seafloor here lie dozens of underwater volcanoes, and the depth in some places reaches 12,000 meters, forming some of the deepest oceanic trenches in the world. Could sudden methane or other gas releases from underwater volcanoes create areas of water with reduced density, in which ships sink in seconds? Or perhaps powerful underwater currents, arising from the collision of the cold Oyashio current and the warm Kuroshio current, form giant whirlpools capable of dragging even large ships? But how then to explain the strange electromagnetic anomalies reported by survivors of encounters with the Devil's Sea? Pilots report unexplained malfunctions in compasses and other navigational instruments, sudden radio communication failures, and even strange time distortions, when clocks on board begin to show completely different times. One Japanese pilot, who miraculously avoided a catastrophe in this area in 1980, described the feeling of a time bubble, when a flight that should have taken 40 minutes lasted only 15 minutes according to the onboard clocks, although the crew did not subjectively feel any acceleration. Of particular interest are the underwater research conducted in this area in the early 2000s. Japanese and American oceanographers discovered on the seabed strange geometric structures resembling artificial constructions, smooth platforms, stepped terraces, and even something resembling pyramids. Some enthusiasts immediately linked these findings to the legendary Mu, the Pacific counterpart of Atlantis, an ancient civilization supposedly destroyed by catastrophic subsidence of the land. It is assumed that these underwater ruins may be the remains of ancient cities, temples, or ceremonial centers. But what if these structures are not just ruins but active objects? What if under the water's surface hides something more strange and amazing than we can imagine? Some researchers suggest the existence of a submerged civilization, or even bases of extraterrestrial beings using the ocean depths as an ideal hiding place from human eyes. Science fiction? Perhaps. But how then to explain the numerous reports of unidentified submersible objects, UFOs, moving at speeds unattainable by any known underwater vehicles? How to explain the strange luminous spheres rising from the depths and disappearing in the sky? The Devil's Sea, like the Bermuda Triangle, continues to keep its secrets, challenging our understanding of physical reality. Perhaps one day we will find a rational explanation for all these mysterious phenomena. Or maybe we will have to admit that our planet hides much stranger and more amazing secrets than we are willing to accept. And while scientists continue to argue about the nature of these anomalies, the Devil's Sea continues to attract adventurers and researchers willing to risk their lives to unravel its dark secrets. Who knows how many more ships and aircraft will disappear in its dark waters before we approach the solution? And what price will we have to pay for this knowledge? Each new expedition into these sinister waters could be the last for its participants, or bring humanity a revelation that will change our understanding of the world and our place in it. Let us turn our attention to another maritime mystery that has haunted sailors for centuries, shrouded in a thick veil of mysticism and superstitious fear. The Flying Dutchman, a ghostly ship doomed to eternal wandering across the boundless oceanic expanses, never finding harbor, never dropping anchor in a quiet bay. Imagine a foggy night at sea. Waves gently crash against the hull of your vessel. The wind fills the sails, and the horizon merges with the ink-black sky. Suddenly, a silhouette emerges from the mist. An ancient ship with torn sails, glowing with a ghostly greenish light. On its deck, you see the figures of sailors frozen in strange poses, as if performing their duties in slow motion. The ship glides over the waves, leaving no trace behind, passes by without reacting to signals, and disappears into the fog as suddenly as it appeared. If you have been witness to this chilling sight, consider yourself marked by fate. According to ancient belief, encountering the Flying Dutchman inevitably foretells imminent doom. But where did this ominous legend originate, and what lies behind it? The most widespread version links the ghostly ship to the name of Captain Hendrik van der Decken, a 17th-century Dutch sailor. According to the tale, he commanded a merchant ship returning from the East Indies to Amsterdam with a rich cargo of spices, silk, and precious stones. When the ship rounded the Cape of Good Hope, known among sailors as one of the most dangerous places due to fierce storms and treacherous currents, a storm of unprecedented force broke out. Towering waves crashed onto the deck, the wind tore the sails, and the ship creaked at the seams, ready to sink at any moment. The crew begged the captain to turn back and wait out the storm in the nearest bay, but Van der Decken, driven by greed and pride, refused. "I will pass this cape, even if I have to sail until Judgment Day," he is said to have exclaimed, and these words became his curse. At that moment, a figure in black appeared on the deck, either the devil himself, a sea spirit, or an angel of retribution. "So be it," the mysterious visitor said. "You shall sail the seas forever, never finding harbor, never seeing your native shore. Your ship shall be a harbinger of doom for all who see it." Another version of the legend tells of Van der Decken committing a terrible sacrilege by setting sail on Good Friday, the day of Christ's crucifixion, when, according to ancient beliefs, no ship should leave port. For this blasphemy, he was condemned to eternal wandering. There is also a third version of the story, where Van der Decken is portrayed not as a greedy blasphemer, but as a tragic figure, a victim of cruel fate. In this version, Van der Decken fell in love with a beautiful girl but was forced to leave for the sea, promising to return in a year and marry her. However, his ship was caught in a terrible storm and sank. Before his death, the captain swore he would return to his beloved at any cost, and this oath proved stronger than death. His ghostly ship continues to sail the seas in search of a way home, to the one who has long turned to dust. What is particularly intriguing about the legend of the Flying Dutchman is the numerous accounts of eyewitnesses who claim to have seen the ghostly vessel. Among them are not only superstitious sailors but also well-educated, rational people. One of the several crew members confirmed seeing the mysterious vessel. But what is most astonishing is that the ghostly ship was spotted not only in the vicinity of the Cape of Good Hope, where, according to the legend, it was cursed, but also in the most distant corners of the world ocean, from the North Sea to the Pacific Ocean, from Arctic ice to the tropical waters of the Caribbean. As if the restless spirit of Van der Decken is indeed doomed to wander the seas, never finding peace. What lies behind these reports? Perhaps optical illusions caused by special atmospheric conditions? Or mass hallucinations born of fear and isolation at sea? Or maybe it is the echoes of a real maritime tragedy that has been passed down through generations as a legend? Some researchers believe that the Flying Dutchman legend is based on the phenomenon of mirages, when light is refracted in such a way that it creates an image of a real object in the air or water, appearing to be a ghostly ship. Thus, a ship sailing hundreds of kilometers away can project onto the sky or water, creating the impression of a ghostly vessel. Such mirages are most common in areas where cold and warm air masses meet over the ocean's surface. For example, at the Cape of Good Hope, where the cold Benguela current meets the warm Agulhas current. But no matter how rationally we try to explain the phenomenon of the Flying Dutchman, there remains something deeply unsettling, touching upon the oldest human fears. The sea has always been a symbol of the unknown, danger, and death. And the image of a ship ghost, doomed to eternal sailing, embodies these fears in their purest form. It is a reminder of the fragility of human life in the face of the elements, of the inevitability of death, and of the fact that some sins cannot be atoned for even beyond the bounds of earthly existence. Perhaps it is for this reason that the legend of the Flying Dutchman continues to live in our collective consciousness, inspiring writers, artists, and composers to create works filled with the dark romanticism of maritime mysticism. But who knows? Perhaps at this very moment, somewhere in the foggy waters of the world's oceans, the ghostly ship with torn sails continues its endless journey, and its captain gazes at the horizon in the hope that one day the curse will be lifted, and he will finally find peace. And how many more sailors will see this ominous silhouette before disappearing forever into the sea's abyss? From the enigmatic ship sailing through the endless expanses of the sea, let us now transport ourselves to a small island off the eastern coast of Canada, where for more than 2 centuries, one of the most intriguing and mystical tales of treasure hunting has been unfolding. Oak Island, a small patch of land measuring just 132 hectares, lies in the province of Nova Scotia, seemingly unremarkable among dozens of similar islands. Covered in dense forest and washed by the cold waves of the Atlantic, it could have remained unnoticed in the annals of history if not for the mysterious shaft known as the Money Pit. Imagine this, 1795, a summer day. A young man named Daniel McGinnis explores the island and stumbles upon a peculiar depression in the ground under an old oak tree. Near the tree, there are signs as if something heavy was lifted with ropes. The bark on the lower branches is worn away. Curiosity gets the better of him, and McGinnis, along with his friends, begins digging. At a depth of 2 meters, they find a platform of oak logs. After removing it, they continue digging, and every 3 meters find new wooden platforms. This is clearly a man-made structure, created for a specific purpose. But what? Lacking sufficient resources, the young men are forced to stop digging. But the news of the mysterious shaft spreads, and soon the first organized expedition arrives. Diggers reach a depth of 30 meters, continuing to find wooden platforms, as well as layers of charcoal, coconut fibers, which is particularly strange given that coconut palms do not grow thousands of kilometers away, and even a mysterious stone with carved symbols that, according to one interpretation, read, 40 feet below lie 2 million pounds. But here, the researchers faced their first unpleasant surprise. The shaft began to fill with seawater. Pumping it out was futile. As soon as they reached a certain depth, water gushed in with such force as if some ancient hydraulic system had been activated. Further research showed that several side tunnels leading to the coast were expertly constructed to flood the main shaft when a certain depth was reached. Who created this complex system and why? What lies at the bottom of this mysterious shaft? Over the next 2 centuries, more than 10 serious expeditions attempted to unravel the mystery of the Money Pit. Millions of dollars were spent, and the most modern technologies were used, from steam pumps of the 19th century to underwater cameras and georadars of our time. They dug side shafts, tried to freeze the water, cement the tunnels, all in vain. The Money Pit keeps its secrets, as if guarded by some supernatural force, and this mystical aura is reinforced by the ominous statistics. 6 people have died under strange circumstances during the excavations. The last victim was in 2010, when one of the researchers suddenly lost consciousness in the shaft and died despite immediate medical help. Local residents whisper about a curse placed on the treasure. According to legend, 7 people must die before the treasure is revealed. 6 have already given their lives. Only 1 remains. But what might be hidden at the bottom of the mysterious shaft? There are many theories, from plausible to outright fantastic. The most widespread version links the Money Pit to pirate treasures. Perhaps the legendary Captain Kidd or Blackbeard or some other sea robber created this engineering marvel to securely hide their loot. The eastern coast of Canada was a favorite haunt of pirates in the 17th and 18th centuries, and Oak Island, with its secluded location and convenient harbor, was an ideal place for a hiding place. Another theory suggests that the shaft may contain the treasures of the Templars. After the order's destruction in 1377, surviving knights fled France, taking with them enormous riches, including the legendary Holy Grail and other Christian relics. According to some data, they reached Scotland, and from there could have traveled to the New World long before Columbus's official discovery of America. Indirect evidence of this version is a stone found nearby with a carved cross resembling Templar symbolism. There are also more exotic hypotheses. Some researchers believe that the shaft may contain lost manuscripts of Shakespeare, or even evidence that Francis Bacon was the true author of his plays. Others link the Money Pit to the treasures of the Incas or Aztecs, brought from South America by Spanish conquistadors and subsequently hidden on a remote island. And the most daring theorists suggest that the shaft has an extraterrestrial origin, pointing to the incredible engineering complexity of the construction for its time. But whatever the truth may be, the Money Pit remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our world. Modern research using remote sensing and computer modeling shows that at a depth of about 70 meters, there are indeed metallic objects and voids that could contain treasures. But the flooding system works flawlessly even after centuries, preventing access to the secret. It is as if some mystical force guards the secrets of the Money Pit, not allowing the uninitiated to approach. And who knows, perhaps this mystery will remain unsolved, as a silent reproach to our arrogant era, which believes that technology can solve any riddle of the past. Or maybe the curse does exist, And only after the seventh victim is offered to the unknown guardians of the island will humanity finally learn what lies at the bottom of the mysterious shaft on Oak Island. But not only on land do great mysteries of the past lie hidden. Let us now delve into the depths of the ocean, where beneath the water's surface lie silent witnesses to vanished civilizations, sunken cities, temples, and monuments, of whose existence we were only recently unaware. Imagine this: 1985, the coastal waters of a small Japanese island called Yonaguni. A diving instructor named Kihachiro Aratake makes a routine dive and suddenly discovers something extraordinary. A massive stone structure with straight angles, flat surfaces, and precise geometric forms. This enigmatic structure, later named the Yonaguni Monument, is a platform measuring 120 by 40 meters with terraces, columns, and even what appears to be an ancient road. This remarkable construction lies at a depth of 5 to 25 meters beneath the sea's surface. What is it? A whimsical creation of nature or a work of human hands? Scholars are divided in their opinions. Skeptics argue that the monument is no more than a natural geological formation, the result of erosion and tectonic processes. They point out that sandstone easily erodes along straight lines, creating the illusion of artificial structures. But how to explain this perfectly straight angles, 2-meter columns, and stepped terraces arranged with astonishing symmetry? Professor Masaki Kimura of the Ryukyu University, who has studied the monument for over 15 years, is convinced that we are dealing with a man-made structure, possibly a temple complex of a civilization that existed 8 to 10,000 years ago, long before the rise of the Sumerians and Egyptians. He has found strange symbols on the monument's surface, resembling ancient writing, as well as images that resemble human faces and animals. If Kimura is right, then the history of humanity requires a serious re-evaluation. According to conventional chronology, 10,000 years ago, humans were just beginning to transition from primitive gathering to agriculture, and creating such monumental structures would have been beyond their capabilities. But the most intriguing question is how this complex ended up underwater. Geological data indicate that the sea level in this region rose by about 40 meters after the last ice age, around 10,000 years ago. Does this mean that the monument's creators witnessed the catastrophic flooding of their lands? Perhaps this dramatic event is the basis for numerous flood myths found in cultures around the world. Yonaguni is not the only underwater wonder challenging our understanding of the past. In 2001, off the coast of the Indian state of Gujarat, ruins of an ancient city called Dwaraka were discovered. According to Hindu mythology, it was the capital of Krishna's kingdom. Underwater archaeologists found massive walls, remnants of 6 settlements, fragments of pottery, and even human bones, estimated to be 9,000 years old. Even more mysterious structures lie beneath the waters of the Caribbean Sea. Near the coast of Cuba, at a depth of over 700 meters, the research vessel Paulina detected in 2002 a vast complex of geometrically precise structures resembling pyramids, roads, and buildings. The depth at which these objects are located poses a nearly insurmountable puzzle for scientists. According to geological data, this area has not been dry land for the past 50,000 years. Does this mean that a highly advanced civilization existed in prehistoric times? Or are we dealing with some unknown natural phenomenon? The situation is further complicated by the fact that investigating objects at such depths is extremely difficult. Current underwater archaeology technologies do not allow for large-scale work. Perhaps these mysterious underwater structures are not something else but material evidence of the existence of the legendary Atlantis. Plato described in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias a highly advanced civilization that perished in a catastrophic flood. According to him, this happened 9,000 years before his time, approximately 11,500 years ago, which remarkably coincides with the end of the last ice age and a significant rise in global sea levels. It is interesting that many underwater structures discovered in different parts of the world are dated to approximately the same period. Coincidence? Or are we looking at fragments of a single ancient civilization, the remnants of which are preserved only in legends and beneath the ocean's depths? Modern technologies are gradually lifting the veil on this mystery. Satellite mapping, underwater drones, and 3-dimensional scanning allow for the exploration of the seabed with unprecedented detail. But each new discovery raises more questions than answers. And while scientists continue to argue about the origin of the sunken structures, the waters of the ocean keep their secrets, like silent guardians of long-gone epochs. Perhaps it is there, in the dark depths, that the keys to understanding our true past, and the answers to the question of how many times humanity has risen to the heights of civilization, only to be thrown back into a primitive state by merciless forces of nature, lie hidden. The ocean holds more mysteries than just the one we've already explored. Let's delve into the world of marine monsters that have long captivated human imagination and inspired legends. Whispers from the ocean depths speak of kraken, giant serpents, and other sea monsters that both frighten and awe. Many sailors, embarking on distant voyages, encountered inexplicable phenomena. Strange forms rising from the depths, leaving only fear and bewilderment in their wake. Isn't it remarkable that even today, as we delve deeper into the ocean's secrets, we still cannot explain the nature of some of these mysteries? How could ancient sailors have imagined such terrifying creatures if they hadn't encountered something truly extraordinary? The legend of the Kraken, for instance, tells of a giant octopus capable of pulling entire ships to the bottom. But what if these tales are based on real events? Modern research shows that deep waters are home to creatures whose sizes exceed our wildest imaginings. Giant squids, which we are just beginning to study, can reach lengths of over 20 meters. Their rare appearances on the surface give rise to stories of sea monsters that may have once battled sailors and become part of folklore. But the Kraken is not the only inhabitant of the ocean's depths. Myths about the Loch Ness Monster, sea serpents, and other strange creatures arise from ancient lore as well as recent eyewitness accounts. For example, in 1986, a group of researchers studying Loch Ness captured on their cameras something resembling a long, writhing body. Could it have been merely a trick of light and shadow? Or was it a genuine discovery confirming the existence of a mythical creature? Many theories suggest that such creatures could have survived in isolated bodies of water, preserving their ancient forms. Some researchers propose that we might be witnessing the evolution of giant marine animals that have adapted to deep-sea conditions, remaining undetected by human eyes. But how to explain the numerous accounts of sailors encountering such creatures? Ancient maps of the oceans are filled with images of monsters that may reflect real observations. One such map, created in the 16th century, depicts enormous sea creatures that were part of the cultural heritage of many peoples. Scientists assert that such legends may be based on real encounters with deep-sea creatures that were insufficiently studied. For example, recently in the southern part of the Pacific Ocean, a new land creature was discovered, dubbed the deep-sea monster. This creature, according to researchers, resembles something between a shark and a ray. But its size and characteristics remain a mystery. So many questions remain unanswered. What secrets lie hidden in the ocean's depths? Perhaps we have only scratched the surface of the mysteries that await their turn. What are the true sizes of these creatures, and do they really exist? Or are they merely a product of human imagination, trying to explain the inexplicable? In the end, how far are we willing to go in our quest for the true answer to the question of what lurks in the dark depths of the ocean? The more we explore, the more questions we ask, and each new discovery opens doors to even greater mysteries, reminding us that the ocean keeps its secrets, like ancient guardians unwilling to share them with humanity. The ocean holds many mysteries. One of the most intriguing is the presence of unidentified submersible objects, or UAPs, as they are often called. These enigmatic shadows in the abyss have captivated researchers, sailors, and enthusiasts of the unknown for many years. Testimonies of encounters with UAPs are diverse and strange. Imagine a dark underwater environment, where light cannot penetrate, and suddenly a bright, glowing object appears, moving at incredible speeds and performing maneuvers impossible for known submarines. How could such objects exist in our world if they indeed do? One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1981, when a group of sailors near the coast of South America witnessed a strange object rising from the depths, leaving a trail of bubbles behind. Experts who analyzed this event could not agree on what it was. Some suggested it could be secret military experiments, while others proposed more exotic theories, such as alien spacecraft exploring our planet. But how to explain the multitude of observations made over decades? In 1993, in the Bermuda Triangle, a submarine encountered something that defied explanation. It was reported as a massive metallic structure that disappeared as suddenly as it appeared. Could it have been a reflection of light or an optical illusion? But how to explain that similar objects are observed in many parts of the world, from the Pacific to the Atlantic? Some researchers believe these UAPs could be manifestations of unknown natural phenomena that we are unable to explain. Perhaps they are mysterious bubble formations created by geological processes on the ocean floor, or manifestations of unusual electrical fields. No matter how we try to rationalize these observations, many questions remain. Some believe UAPs are merely products of human imagination, while others are convinced we are dealing with something truly extraordinary and inexplicable. There are even theories that these objects are part of ancient legends about sea monsters, which might actually be highly advanced technologies left behind by forgotten civilizations. What is the true nature of these mysterious objects, and how many more secrets does the ocean hold? Science meets mysticism, and facts intertwine with conjectures, creating an atmosphere of an unsolvable enigma. Yet one thing is clear: the more we learn, the more questions arise, and each new fact only deepens the mystery, making us wonder if we are merely scratching the surface of an ocean of secrets, guarded by ancient sentinels unwilling to reveal their secrets to humanity. What are the real sources of these UAPs? And how many more unexplored depths await their time to be revealed? We can only speculate about what we do not know, and what else might be discovered in the dark waters, where each turn hides new mysteries. Mysterious sounds from the ocean depths, the voice of the abyss. But these are not the only mysteries hidden by the watery expanses. Let us delve into the dark depths where mysterious sounds emanating from the ocean evoke both awe and wonder among scientists and researchers. One of the most famous phenomena is the enigmatic bloop, a sound recorded in 1999. This powerful, deep, and rhythmic rumble, recorded in the Southwest Pacific Ocean, startled experts with its unusual nature. Specialists immediately began analyzing this sound, and soon concluded that it could be caused by underwater activity, such as the movement of glaciers or underwater volcanoes. But how? Who knows, perhaps, but how? Some of them, there are, how to this lead. However, could they be? And what if underwater sounds are just one of many voices echoing from the depths, where even more mysterious and unsolved enigmas lie hidden? The darkness of the ocean depths holds many secrets, and each new sound that reaches us only adds fuel to the fire of our curiosity. We continue to wonder how many more unknown mysteries await discovery, and what else may be hidden in the abyss, where even the boldest minds hesitate to venture. What else does the ocean conceal, and what are its true voices? Ghost islands, vanished lands. But what about the mysterious islands that once adorned old maps and then vanished in a mysterious way? Let's delve into a world where myths and reality intertwine, creating an atmosphere of unsolved mysteries and intriguing stories. One such famous island is St. Brendan's Island, which, according to legend, was discovered by monks in the 6th century and became a place of pilgrimage for many. The location of this island varied from the shores of Ireland to the mysterious waters of the Caribbean Sea. Despite numerous searches, it was never found. How could an island that was so significant to ancient sailors disappear? Could it have been cartographic errors that were overlooked? Or did the island truly exist, but was destroyed by powerful volcanic activity? There are other examples as well. Islands like the 10th island, mentioned in old documents, could have been nothing more than the product of cartographers' imaginations trying to fill in the blank spaces on their maps. However, how do we explain the fact that many sailors claim to have encountered these lands? It is possible that they indeed saw something that was later submerged or swallowed by the ocean. But what forces could erase entire lands from the face of the earth? Volcanoes, underwater earthquakes, and changes in the level of the world's oceans could all have played a role in the disappearance of these mysterious islands. Could they have been victims of catastrophes about which we still know nothing? One of the most intriguing examples is the island of Fajar, which continues to spark debate among historians and archaeologists. The island is mentioned in Arabic texts, but its exact location remains a mystery. Some researchers believe it was a real land that disappeared due to underwater activity, while others think it was just a myth created by human imagination. How could a whole civilization have existed on this island, and yet left no trace of its existence? Perhaps the mysteries of Fajar will remain unsolved forever, leaving only traces in the pages of ancient manuscripts. No less mysterious is the island of Marius, which, according to some sources, was discovered during maritime expeditions in the 18th century. Cartographers recorded it on their maps, but it soon disappeared without a trace. How could this have happened? Weather conditions, underwater currents, or even human error could have led to the disappearance of this mysterious place. But what if the cause was deeper than we can imagine? Perhaps this was a place where worlds intersect, where reality and myth meet, and we don't even know what secrets it hid. Each of these ghost islands leaves behind a multitude of questions. What is their true nature? Could they have been places of ancient rituals, witnesses to forgotten civilizations, or were they just illusions created by human imagination? Questions remain open, and we continue to search for answers. But what if the depths of the ocean hold even more mysteries than we can imagine? How many more vanished lands may be hidden in the abyss, waiting for their stories to be told? These mysterious islands remind us that the world is full of unsolved mysteries, and that our history is just a small part of a vast canvas on which new mysteries continue to appear. How much more of the unknown surrounds us, remaining beyond our understanding? The ocean, this majestic yet ominous expanse of water, has always captivated human attention. It not only fills our lives with life, but also harbors countless mysteries that often seem completely inexplicable. How many chilling tales of shipwrecks, lost expeditions, and strange creatures dwelling in its depths are etched into history? How many myths and legends have arisen from unexplained phenomena that continue to stir our imagination? We have delved into the world of vanished islands, forgotten civilizations, and sunken artifacts. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. The ocean, this enigmatic guardian, continues to whisper its riddles, prompting us to ask questions for which we have not yet found answers. What lies hidden in its depths? Perhaps it is the remnants of lost worlds, or something beyond our comprehension. What are the true causes of the disappearance of those ghostly islands? Were they victims of natural disasters, or are we simply not ready to accept facts that challenge our notions of reality? Each new discovery only underscores that the ocean is not just a source of life, but also an abyss of unexplored mysteries, which may reveal its secrets at any moment. We invite you to share your most chilling maritime stories or theories in the comments. Perhaps you know something that can shed light on these enigmatic phenomena. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you want to continue exploring the world of mysteries and riddles, because this is just a small part of what the ocean hides. In its depths, among the dark waters and sunken secrets, there is still much unexplained waiting to be discovered. How many unsolved mysteries remain, buried beneath the waves?